So when I was thinking about the niggin tonight, I had a niggin in mind. And then when I went to go research the niggin, another niggin popped up from the same, not the same composer, but the one that we attribute the niggin to. What does that mean? I'll just say, like when we say this is the Rebbe's niggin or the Alter Rebbe's niggin, it doesn't mean they composed the niggin. It just means they sung it. Usually it means they sung it very often, or they had a certain geschmack. Yeah, they enjoyed it very much. And Chassidim, it was unique to them. Other Rebbeim, other Rebbes didn't have such a great interest in the niggin, but this Rebbe did, and therefore it becomes his niggin. So the Chassid we're going to talk about is the Chassid, not the Rebbe. The Chassid who wrote these Niggunim, who these Niggunim are attributed to. I don't know if he wrote it. I don't think he did. His name was Chonye Marosow. Now, this niggin, I can't really tell you much about the niggin, but I'll just tell you that when you go to a Fabrengen, a Hasidic Fabrengen means to gather. Fabrengen is what it's really all about. When Hasidim get together and they share real ideas and talk about real things, and beautiful nigunim come out of there. There are certain nigunim that are like for Fabrengens, called nigin hisvadut or hisvadus, which means to gather. Those are to me, those are the best nigunim. Those are my favorite nigunim, the nigunim you'll hear very often. First of all, l'chaim. I have to have a l'chaim. So this niggin, I'll just say, was the niggin that I would always start. If somebody asked me you go to a Fabrengen, there's people who come to the beginning of the Fabreng. Yeah, you make an announcement in our synagogue, they'll make an announcement. There's going to be a kiddush followed by a Fabrengen. So there's 150 people that come to our kiddush, and they'll come and they'll sit for the Fabrengen. The Fabrengen starts. And so a few of us will have a go-to Devar Torah, something quick, enjoyable, easy to take home and tell over at your table. And that's great. And then most of the people leave. And then 90% of the people will leave. The ones who stay are the ones that really came to Fabreng. They didn't just come to hear an idea or to be, whatever. They came because they want to experience something else. They want to get involved in something. They're not so tired. They're not interested. Shabbos is not just about sleeping. It's really not. I actually sleep the least on Shabbos. It's about getting involved. It's about reflecting on the previous week and working towards the next week. I want it to be a whole different mahalach, as we say, like a whole different movement, literally mahalach means to go, move, like movement. I want it to be a different road, a different way. So there are certain transition periods in a Fabrengen when the Fabrengen starts to get a little bit more real, and it takes time. Yeah, it says when you go to a psychologist, it takes about 8 to 10 sessions until you feel comfortable saying what you want to say to your psychologist or psychiatrist, whatever it is. So the same thing at a Fabrengen, just like friends, where you meet someone new, it takes a lot of, I don't know the terminology of it, but it takes time to warm up, to open up, to feel comfortable. And so they're like transition periods. You feel like you're getting more comfortable and you can sense it. Now, whenever I feel that the transition has been made, and I don't care whichever Fabrengen, I don't care who was Fabrenging, I don't care if it's like some big, rabbi or whatever. If I was at the Fabrengen, as soon as I sense it, I'm like, I'm like a whale. I can sense waves. No, I don't know. But there's a certain period where I'm like, okay, I think this has now gone into a different mode. And this is the niggin that I would choose, that I choose. It puts you it just puts me in a different mindset. I think it puts the environment in a whole different mindset. And it's I'm not going to say it's long, but it's like mellow. I don't know what it is. It's just, here we are. Now we're ready. Now we're in these are different people now. It's a different environment, a different room. And like I always say, a niggin is really a time. Why do we have a niggin? A niggin is really the time to reflect upon an idea that was just shared. And you think about the idea while you're singing the niggin, you let it percolate. And that's what the niggin is for. So a niggin is usually sung a couple times. This niggin, I think, is long enough. I don't remember them ever. I think anybody ever did it twice. It's not very long, but there's just, you want to get back to it when you're done. You want to get back to the Fabrengen, I feel. I just maybe if you want to have an idea, first of all, l'chaim. I have to, my wife says, if you're never really prepared, just say a little l'chaim on mashke.
That's true. Listen to Eliana.
Yeah, listen to my wife. So I wasn't really prepared. So that's when I bring a bottle of something and I say l'chaim baruch atah Adonai melech haolam shach. And it helps me remember things. What was I talking about? So the niggin. Okay, so what was I just thinking? So I just heard a story. Yossi Jacobson was Fabrengen with a guy named Chase Taub. I very much connect with Yossi Jacobson. I'm sure most of you have, if you know who he is. Great guy. I used to be in Crown Heights when he was there in Fabreng. So Chase Taub tells a story. The story goes like this. The story is, somebody once gave the Alter Rebbe, the first Chabad Rebbe, a snuff box. Yes, with snuff in it, a silver snuff box. And the Alter Rebbe said, I don't want the snuff box. The Torah says there are certain senses that desire will have like a desire for the sense to have like a fulfillment. So touch, yeah, you have a desire to like touch certain things. You have a desire to see certain things. Yeah, I'm sure. Hear certain things. I want to hear about that. I want to taste certain things. Potato chips, whatever you want. There's one of the senses that doesn't have a desire. Rather, if you happen upon something, it feels a desire and like, oh, that's great, but it doesn't search to fulfill its desire. And that's the sense of smell, which I can relate to. I can relate to that idea. I don't go to I'm not running to like an incense place to smell things. If I happen to smell something nice, it's like, wow, that's really nice, but I don't go looking to smell something. Whatever. So he said, I don't want to like train my nose to have a desire to smell certain things. So I'm not going to use the snuff. I'm not interested in the snuff. Instead, I'll use the box, because it's made out of silver, as a mirror, and I'll use it to check my tefillin on my head to make sure it's in the right place. A chassid was once telling over the story to the grandson of the Alter Rebbe, that's Tzemach Tzedek. He was telling over the story to a bunch of chassidim, and he was just telling the story very quickly. Oh, somebody gave the Alter Rebbe a snuff box, and the Alter Rebbe didn't want it, and the Alter Rebbe broke off the cover, and he used it as a mirror. The Tzemach Tzedek stopped him. He said, what do you mean he broke off? He didn't break off. He didn't break anything. The Alter Rebbe, and he said a very bomb statement, like crazy claim. He said, the Alter Rebbe never broke anything. He can't break anything, that's kind of a wild thing to say, to be honest. How do you know? But he's like, I know the Alter Rebbe, I know my grandfather. He never broke anything. So what did he do? What he must have done was he undid the hinges of the snuff box. He undid the hinges, and then it became two pieces. The significance of the story, and that's how the story is. And what now? If you're out of a Fabrengen, what's the story over here? So the Rebbes would explain the story like this: you have a desire for something immoral. Whenever we have a desire, an addiction, or whatever unhealthy connection that we have, if we have an unhealthy connection to something, the Chassidus says, don't break the feeling of connection. Don't break that. What you need to do, you're trying to connect to something. You're trying to connect ultimately to God, but you're plugged into the wrong thing. Don't break that desire for connection. Simply unplug, just undo the hinge and then plug it into something else. Which I think is like a very, and you have an addiction, you have something you really have a desire for, and it's an unhealthy desire. The feeling of desire, don't try to break the feeling of desire. Just plug it into something else. Plug it into holiness. Plug it into something holy. So that, I don't know. That's just a concept that I'm letting percolate in my head. I just like let that idea try to apply it in my own life, whatever it'll be. Oh, my internet connection is unstable. Okay, I apologize. Okay, so that's the idea that I have in my head. And this is the niggin. It's called the Chonye Marosow's niggin. It's a Shabbos. It's a niggin Gaguyim, which means a yearning. Gaguyim means to yearn for something. Yearn for something. I never know when a word is in English or in Yiddish or in Hebrew. Yearn, and the soul's yearning, for connection back to Hashem. And it's sung on Shabbos and Yom Tov. That's how it's titled. And Reb Chonye Marosow was a chassid who got arrested at the same time the Frierdiker Rebbe, previous Rebbe, got arrested. He was a secretary of Reb Chonye Marosow. Elchanan Marosow was a secretary, so to speak, of the previous Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe. And he got arrested in 1927, and then he was released, and he continued his efforts. And in 1938, he was ultimately arrested again and shot and killed together with his son 10 days later, which was, I'm saying the story quickly, but it's obviously a very tragic story, but that's just how things were. And we can somewhat appreciate what they tried to do under such circumstances when he was trying to open up a mikvah and books and teaching underground students, kids, and making sure that there's kosher food and moyalim to give bris milah, all these different things. These guys, they were the real deal. Beyond the real deal is an understatement. And they paid with it with their life. And they knew full well that that's probably what's going to happen. But yet, nevertheless, they went ahead and did it. So this is the niggin. I like to call it the transition niggin. And hopefully I'll sing it correctly. And I never really started. It's hard to just start it, like in the beginning of a session. That's why I have to give like a whole, it's got to be a
I would help you, Rabbi, but it's inappropriate.
Yeah. I don't know if you really know it. I mean, do you know it? I don't know. There's many.
Any niggin starts with the same 3 notes.
I don't know about this one. This one starts a little low, right?
Okay, let's see.
Ya ma 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 ya ma 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 ya ma ya ma 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 didi ya ma 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 ya ma 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 ya 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 ma 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 ya ma 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 ya ma 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 didi ya ma 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 ya ma ya da ya da ma 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 ya ma 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 didi ya ma ya da ma ya da da didi ya ma ya ya da hey ma ya ya da da ya da da didi ya ma ya ma didi ya ma ya ya da didi ya ma ya ma didi ya da da ya ma ya da didi ya da da ya ma ya da ya da da didi ya ya da hey ya ma 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 ma. Ma 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 ma. Ya 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 da da ya da ya ma 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 ma. Oh ya ma ya ma 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 ya ma. Ya ya da ya yo ya da da ya dum. Ma ma ya ma 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 ya ma. Ya 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 da da ya da ya ma ma ya da ya da da ya da do. Ya ma 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 ya da ya da 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 ya do. So obviously it usually goes a little bit quicker. I mean a little bit slower. But you ever come to a Fabrangan here in Beis Chabad, West Bloomfield? We'll be sure to sing that.
I knew it, Rabbi. It was, ay, 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 ya mama. That's every.
Yeah, those are the lyrics. Those are the lyrics. Yeah, the
melody
changes. The melody changes. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, that's Chonye Marosow's Niggin. The Niggin I was going to sing, by the way, just that I had in mind, which I thought would be pretty cool. I'm not going to sing it. But the opening goes, it's a waltz. It's like a waltzing thing. It goes, ah-ya-da-ya-dum, ah-ya-da-ya-dum, ah-ya-dum, ah-ya-dum, ah-ya-da-ya-dum, ah-ya-na-na-na-na. Whatever, it keeps going. It's very interesting. But then this one came to mind. That's Chonye. That's another Chonye Marosow Niggin. There's 10, I think he's got 10 Niggunim, 10 songs. And anyway, that's just the one that I like. It's one that I like. But again, there's like a certain, you can't capture it in a video, like just sitting here. When we sit and Fabrang, and it's 2 hours into the Fabrangan, and we're discussing real ideas, and with somebody who can really talk real ideas, not myself, usually somebody else. There's like a certain like aha moment in the Fabrangan, and there's like everyone's okay. I'm very absorbent. I'm very open right now. There's like I don't know, that Niggin, I don't know, it usually just puts you in a different mood. It's sung differently. It sounds differently. It feels differently. But I have to at least sing the Niggin, nevertheless. Anybody have anybody want to share anything?
L'chaim. My favorite one through whole Hanukkah week, I went back and I replayed everything that I posted. So yeah, I think still Yamin Hashem still stands out.
Yeah.
Second ranked is Ani Ma'amin.
Okay, there's many different versions. By the way, Yamin Hashem is the Tzemach Tzedek, the one who I just retold the story. That's his Niggin. Yeah. Wait, there's Ani Ma'amin. There's many different versions.
Yeah, well, the one which are like very. The one that I posted was like, Maimonides, like the very older version.
Ani
Ma'amin. Yeah.
Well, that's the one
like slower. Yeah, the slower.
That's the one that you would sing on the way to the gas chamber. Whatever. Yeah, it's very serious.
Yeah, very serious.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking. Yeah. All right. That's it. Oh, by the way, so I want to mention once again to everybody, there's going to be a new class given by Rabbi Weinberg. Learning how to learn. He's going to teach you. He has a curriculum that he's done many times. He's going to teach you how to translate and read Chumash and Hebrew, all the prefixes and suffixes and the verbs and the roots. He's going to teach you how to read and translate properly, which I think a lot of people would be interested in. It's probably going to start next week. We have to pick a day and a time. But yeah. If you want to join that, I think that'll be pretty good. He's done it, like I said, he's done it maybe 30 years, so he's pretty good at it. He knows it pretty well, and if you stick with it, you'll learn. You'll see it's not so difficult to figure out how to learn and translate with time. It just takes time. Okay.
Can you look if we can do it, Rabbi? If we can do Tuesday or Thursday?
Yeah, I actually probably will be a Tuesday or a Thursday. Actually, that's perfect. Yeah, that's probably exactly one of the days that I'll do it.
Yeah, because every other day is getting really packed, and plus Chabad classes as well. So yeah. I'm like
Well, JLI ends. JLI does end, and it's only 6 weeks, so it'll end in 3 weeks, I believe. Just that. Oh, but you have Chabad. Okay, other Chabad classes.
Yeah.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, yeah, those are the best days for me as well. Like if somebody else can give a class then. So tomorrow night, I just wanted to mention tomorrow will be Tanya class. Tomorrow night is Halacha class. Well, Mordechai Goodman, and then Halacha class with Rabbi Silberberg, the laws of Shabbos and their origins. And you can ask any question you'd like. He's very open to questions. He's a Rav. You can ask him personal questions as well. And he's an authority. So he can really tell you what to do. Yeah, that's it. That's what I have to say.
Okay.
All
Thank you,
right. Yeah.
Thanks for.
No problem. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Sei gesund. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, good night.